I think I'm looking more like Caravaggio every day. That's my nickname, which Salvatore has given to me. So today, my thoughts upon philosophy. I was a member of a philosophy club at the University of East Anglia, and my favorite philosophers are David Hume and Collingwood. Collingwood, R.G. Collingwood, wrote an essay on metaphysics, and he helped me in many ways with trying to puzzle out some of the big questions of philosophy, namely ones which are actually very common to us. For example, if you have two breakfast bowls, how do you differentiate them? Well, you could say that one is, you could say, discuss similarity, how one is similar to the other, or how they resemble each other. Now, those two words are not just words, but they describe particular ways of reasoning and perceiving objects. So, similarity, for example, was used by the two behaviorist economists. That's Abraham Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. They came up with this idea that when we look at things, objects, and calculate risk in the economy, we do so based on the similarity of features, whereas resemblance is based upon the degree of how one object looks to the other. So this is an interesting thing, because if you put two breakfast bowls on the table, first of all, you're going to say they look the same. You're going to say, well, they are the same, but they're not. Because no matter what you want to say about them, you can say they're identical, but they're not. They're not identical because to be 100% identical, then there would only be one breakfast bowl on the table, because you can differentiate the two breakfast bowls by the distance, and then between them and the space which they occupy. If they occupy different spaces, then they are not identical. This is similar with, this is the case, I should say, with everything. Now, when you look at something as profound as the stock market, when you want to look at performance of a portfolio, you can do so in perfect market conditions. A perfect portfolio, that's I believe that's Markowitz, if I'm correct, who had this idea of calculating the probability of how something will perform in the market. Whereas Tversky and Kahneman are looking at how people actually make their calculations. This is based on the behaviors. So you can, in theory, and this is what I did in this essay, have a theory which brings two ways of looking, of reasoning and perceiving together in one model, and you could have run them conjointly, and then in order to be able to handle these two worlds, one which is a world which is based on resemblance, which Leibniz went on about, and the other one which is similarity, which is the Tversky-Kahneman model, then you could generate models and based on the current commodities or whatever you want to look at, and you can make predictions of how they perform with each model, each world, and then you can bridge them and and from this you can get a pragmatic idea of how your particular share of stock or the commodity or whatever you're interested in is going to do.